Hello, big beautiful world. This is the first release after update 13, and I think we've all had a bit of an adventure. Ooh, what do we got going on there? Anything in particular? Just noise, people, just noise. We've all had a bit of an adventure with it, I'm sure. I know I did. I'll talk all about it on the way up. And as you can see, even FS Pro Realistic Pro is behaving very oddly now. I've had to change a couple of settings. Anyway, we've got our luggage packed. We're going to take up the globe for the first time, and not the globe, is it? Yeah, the Echo Coupe. Air Coupe. Nice paint, great livery. So yeah, haven't burtled about in this too much. In fact, I've only poodled about in it once, and I did a quick circuit in it at another airfield a few days ago. But that being said, let's hop in, get us started. What do we got? We have all the good things. Cool. We're going to chuck them all on, I think. Nerves. Strobies. Yeah, come on, kid. So we're fully on. And crack the throttle on this puppy. Don't need the carpet just yet. Look,
Clear prop.
It's given us what we need, surely. It has given us what we need, surely. Okay, cool. Let's see if I over the bonnet a bit. All good. All good. Oh, am I comfy? Who knows about these things? Now, of course, because all of this, as you all know, any of you cats who know it, you got no rudders. So I'm operating the rudder pedals. No joy. However, even when I twist my stick, no joy. So everything's tied, and that's why this aircraft is so unique. Now, first thing I had to do after the update 13 was knock off live weather, because it's just brutal. It makes this thing porpoise crazily. So, and also because the FS Realistic Pro already has natural shake, and because this is renowned for having that, the vibrating tail and the realistic vibrations. It's a bit of a double whammy. Anyway, let us, you know what, let's just come off the handy. Just bring around a bit. Interestingly, there we go. Cool. Gonna let us onto the airfield? You're not, are you? You cheeky critter. Alright, let's do the right thing for a change, shall we? And we're just gonna take it from Hatfield to de Havilland. The Havilland site down to actually, you know what, while I think of it, let's import this. So it was just pulled down from the cloud, FS Realistic Pro. I do like a lot of the user created cloud things. They're pretty cool. Now, I'm not even looking out for the windsock, which of course is deadly in this thing. So, but that being said, let's just get onto the airfield and see what's what, eh? Take her through the rough. Hope none of the golfers are about. I don't think there's a golf field nearby, is there? So yeah, update 13, what a conversation point that is. And it's hard not to go brutal on it, loving Asobo and loving them all the way we do. And Microsoft the way we do. And our love affair with Microsoft, of course, has run hot and cold for the best part of 40 years or more. That being said, not sure what went awry with that last update, because that was painful. So for me personally, it took, I think, the best part of, I'm going to work with this. Let's just put it to its paces, eh? Anyway. Took me the best part of not sure what's going on here. Whatever it is, it ain't gonna be pretty. Okay, so straight off the bat, we get it. That turbulence is hell. Check it out. Now, in all fairness, I have picked a moderate gust preset, so I'm quite prepared to put up with that. But the real life weather, even on a smooth run, it was wild. It was wild. One thing I do love, and I'm not sure if it's the new Accu season. Normally, by about now, I would have turned on the NVIDIA color palette, but in this case, I haven't. We've got to get away from this bloody tree line. That's just nuts. I don't know why I picked this aircraft to go up in. Look, please tell me if this is normal. Honestly, I really do not know. But I have been up in a couple of flights like this, and if you're still with me, more power to you, because this is intense. So I'm not sure what to expect with this. You know what, we might do a comparison, depends on how we go. Either way, this will have you reaching for the bar bag real quick if all my aircraft are going to be like this. So, yeah, it looped out, so the download was, let's just trim her up. And just going to keep climbing for a while, just see if we can get above the gust line. But yeah, it's not going to forgive me. Okay, so let's conduct our little experiment now, because that's just sucking all the joy right out of it. Okay, so this is a Weather Preset Pro. Okay, let's go for one more. So is this to, let's see what calm winds gives us. You know what, I'm going to stick with that. The colour palette. Now I'm not sure, yeah, I imagine it's just the new AccuSeason colour palette. Oh, there we go, a bit of stoppage. I should have been keeping my eye on the river because I was going to follow the river south. Anyway, we're heading down there now. We're just heading down south to Croydon. Don't know how long it's going to take. If it carks out, I have had a couple of CTDs, crashes to desktop, when I've tried to record. Mind you, we are moving into unseasonably hot weather now, so here in the south of Australia. So anything's possible. But that being said, I'm not sure what I'm seeing from SU13 or update 13, other than a whole bunch of heartache for a little GA flyer like me. Let's trim her out a bit, eh? That's plenty good. So maybe it's just the air coupe itself. It doesn't like anything even remotely over 5 knots. I did try a few options the other day, and a similar deal. It just... So now we're quite settled. All right, I can live with that. That's quite beautiful. And the pleasure is restored. I meant to mention the other day, the Wildcat's been released. Obviously, we've got some new things on the horizon. The update 13 itself, I kicked it off well before 8 o'clock yesterday morning, on Friday morning actually, and continued through to about midday, and that was after a couple of restarts where I killed it out because it was just sitting there looping. And it hit 100%, loop 100%, loop 100%, loop, and just go back and back and back, and it was just utterly ridiculous. And then on top of that, when it did come back up, it obviously had a whole bunch of things missing. So that was another 2 hours lost while it downloaded everything. So net result, it was around 7:30 till around 2:30. So what's that? 4.5, 6, 7 hours just to get it back up and running in the shape that I've come to know and love this thing. So that's my experience. I'm kind of made me appreciative of all the time, and I've got the Steam edition as well, Premium Pack Steam edition, rah rah rah. So kind of made me appreciative of all the other updates that have gone through effortlessly. Not sure what that was all about. I know that the Zendesk is still investigating. I know that they're still kind of, they're still determining what went awry, because they've certainly had more users logging on and doing updates at the same time in the past with no issues. So interesting. How are we looking, clan? This thing's really, because everything's locked in between the rudders and the ailerons, I forget how bloody sensitive this thing just wants to tip and tip and tip. So yeah, interesting little beastie to get about in. Quite unique, I'd say. Haven't taken up the Bronco yet. I will have a squiz at that in the coming days. That's the freebie up on .to. If you saw the last video, I left a link to it. Quite a few people are raving about it, which is good. And for freeware, it does look right up there with Dave Garwood's stuff, his Hunter, and what's that other beast he's got up there? Little Nelly, I think. The gyrocopter. So quite intriguing. Now let's hop out for our postcard moments. I love the lines on this thing. In fact, I'm surprised at how much I fall in love with the lines on this. It's like being 7 years old all over again, running into a hardware store, which was the only place when I was a kid, where you used to be able to buy the old Airfix kits and frog kits in the plastic bags, and buying I don't know, Avro 504K or was it the Frog Avenger or TBM Avenger? So yes, this is quite a sweet little aircraft, and I'm glad I picked it up because it's idiosyncratic enough for me just to fall in love with it. Now, interestingly, with the new local legends that traditionally have been released at the same time, I don't think we get the Mitsubishi MU2. In fact, I think the date's on hold until they clear the rights with Mitsubishi, so it's going to be a wait and see on that. It's kind of 60s equivalent of the ATR 42. It's a twin turbo prop carrier. Nice lines on a beautiful looking bird. Reminds me of the old Aero, what's it, the Aeromaster Shrike from around the same vintage. In fact, I wonder if there was a carryover, like a crossover between the two. So I'm looking forward to that. But more interestingly is the Warbird, the Saab B17 that they were going to release. That's really fascinating because, well, it's a twin. Not a twin, I mean it's a two-seater. So rear gunner, navigator and pilot. And not the prettiest bird in the aviary, but a kind of unique aircraft. And I'm hoping, and I know I'm hoping against hope as I always do because I'm the bloody idiot that I am, doesn't it look beautiful out there now though? I will say this, I'm not sure if it's AccuSeason or if they've done some coding for landscape. AccuSeason now gives you the choice with different kinds of foliage, the different colours, as well as less foliage density in built up areas, which I've noticed already is a major godsend. It just brings everything, I mean look at that. Tell me that is not just freaking beautiful. And like I said, this is without, hang on, let's confirm. Yeah, so that's with the NVIDIA stuff off. So yeah, really kind of extraordinary. And it's, yeah, AccuSeason, for me it's mandatory. Like, what else have I got? So, FS Realistic Pro, FS Realistic Pro, AccuSeason, and the textures are all AccuRex airway textures. I've also, you'll now notice, got, I bought it the other day because it was cheap. Traffic in sight. So as you can see, we've got some activity over there. Oh, we've got a ton of activity. Unfortunately, nobody's really playing see and avoid with me. Maybe I should watch me bloody altitude. Why am I flying south? I just treat everything like a training ground. Am I flying south? West? East is Ob, west is Otter. What's our altitude? What is our altitude? If I'd have gone up to 2,000, that would have fit. That's all right. I'm going to venture to say I want to stay about 500 to 1,000 out of my way anyway. That's really cool. So I did buy this. This was on the cheap up at the market. I think at the marketplace. It might have been, yeah, most likely the marketplace. Okay, it's really bloody mesmerising. Now, I just want to confirm something. Hit the obligatory cheat sheet, see how far out we are. Alright, cool. We've got a couple of rivers. Many rivers to cross. What about, what do we got? About 40k to go. Okay, cool. Okay, I am swept up in this world all over again. So it seems to be behaving itself today. Like I said, I've had a couple of CTDs. I've had a couple of non-loads with bush trips, especially the aftermarket one, or the user-made ones at flightsim.to. I wonder if that's a traffic chopper up there. Oh no, it's a balloon, a weather balloon or something. Very cool. What are we looking at? We're looking at, I can bring it back to 1500, let it drift down. I should get more aggressive and pull her at, keep her at 1500, but I'm not gonna. I'm just going to take my time and enjoy the scenery. Yeah, so as you can see, the traffic inside is kind of cool, and I think it's only like maybe less than around £5, so maybe $10. There's a whole bunch of them, obviously, for obvious reasons. There's a whole lot for the US. One for Western Europe, one for England or Britain at large, and I grabbed the Western Europe one and the Britain one, hence I'm hanging around a lot over in England these days. This is alright, so it just could be this doesn't like the gustage, and of course that's completely acceptable. It's a small GA aircraft, not born, but I got to tell you, in real life, the aircraft that we go up, about as light as this, profoundly light actually, in fact. You know, you've got, I won't say I'm a massive unit, but I'm a big enough unit, and together with the instructors, we've got to be careful about who we go up with, because that's how light the ultralight is, and it'd be on par with this. And I got to tell you, it does not react as violently as we saw, even with 15 to 20s on the crosswind. And of course, that's just about the point where we're bringing the aircraft down, by the way, not taking it up. 15 to 20 knots is a hell of a it's a shit of a time up there in small GAs. But that being said, speaking of which, it looks like we're getting a storm in shortly. That being said, as you can see in the clear weather, this thing's an utter bloody joy. Is it back still wobbling away? Look at that wobbly tail, that's such a good look. But yeah, I was wondering about that before I purchased this, as to whether the Ercoupe, the dynamics might conflict with the FS Realistic Pro, and I was thinking, maybe, but no. As long as I keep the weather relatively clear, we're okay, we're in business. The new, and I'm not trying to sell anyone anything, but the new AccuSeason also has a few additional bonuses, such as originally, or the previous iteration had about 3 or 4 installations you could do to do the weather for Queensland, do the foliage for Queensland and stuff like that, a few other sites, and now you've got about half a dozen, with more on the horizon as I understand it. So that's kind of cool. How are we doing? We're hovering around 1750, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So I've got my hand off the joystick at the moment. I'm just letting it do its own thing. As you know, the rudders are useless on this thing, so just a question of monitoring it. And actually, I will bring her over a bit. We want to get pushed over to the east just a bit. Now, got Friends Wildcat. I don't have it yet. It looks phenomenal. It's interesting that we're all going hell for leather on the bullets, on the firing mechanism and the bombs, and kudos not only to Got Friends but also to Red Wing with a Bugatti for something similar. But kind of, there's a part of my heart that absolutely aches for the Asobo Microsoft dream team to reinvigorate the old combat flight sims ETO, European Theatre of Operations, and there we go. So I do like this element of you've got to keep your eyes peeled for any other traffic. That's really, really cool, because I got to tell you, in real life, it's something that I'm always coming to terms with. I'm pretty good about 70% of the time, but if I'm not listening for the local traffic, I'm not seeing a Cessna coming down from the north or up from the south, and you're constantly self-flagellating after that, thinking, how could I not see it? How could I not see it? Which is really disrupting how you're flying. So, where was I going? Yeah, if I know this is a big plea, and I know I've made it before, but if the magic amalgam of Asobo and Microsoft could see fit to pour some money and R&D and time into resurrecting Combat Flight Sim CFS1 and CFS2, or CFS European Theatre of Operations and CFS Pacific Theatre of Operations, I will love you, and I'm sure all the developers will as well, because that way you can have your dedicated marketplace for things that go bang. And I know you cats would have all thought of that by now, but it just seems a kind of, I don't know, not a poke in the eye necessarily, but a little bit, not missed opportunity. We know that. That's all the cliches you want to dredge out. So here's hoping, folks. Here's hoping that they're actually onto it, and that Hog and the team are all over that stuff, thinking, ooh, how can we do this? I mean, let's face it, serious bucks, because what have we got? We've got IL-2, and you've got Rise of Flight, and they're still, or actually also OFF, over Flanders Fields. But again, they're revamped engines, they're recycled engines, and it's it just seems like yesterday when I was so excited about Rise of Flight. It was like, yes, first World War I flight sim over 25 years, and boy, hasn't time gone quickly. And it's a similar deal. I mean, IL-246 with the introduction of the Lech and the Vespa and the Lech, and you know, some of the Luft 46 aircraft. I think not the P1101, Messerschmitt, but yeah, some other cool aircraft. So hello you. Alright, this has turned the whole experience into one that is not only remarkably civilized, but remarkably breathtaking in my humble opinion. Let's hop out and grab another postcode, shall we? There's the little pilot's cap sticking out, little noggin. Love the grime on this thing, just that subtle nuance of grime. Actually, I really do love this aircraft. I'm quite gobsmacked at how bloody lovely it really is. Very sweet. Very sweet indeed. So we've probably got about 20 to go, I'd say. How far? Let's come in a bit. Yep. Okay. So we just keep heading south, past the bright lights of the big city. Hello, London. You cold, heartless, beautiful princess of a city. It's a good day for it. It's just a good day for it. It is now. That weather you saw earlier was bloody dodgy. I will be taking some other aircraft up to see if there is now an issue between SU13 and FS Realistic Pro, because that'll break my heart. FS Realistic Pro is so subtly excellent. As you just saw me loading before, that was a cloud, a user-created profile for this thing, and it's just sweet. It's really sweet, the amount of user created stuff out there, user created content out there. So I'm kind of really impressed. Yeah, so back to the Godfriend's Wildcat. Of course I'll get it eventually, and for the price it's a no-brainer. It's the Godfriends team, you can't help it. They're just phenomenal. They work their butts off and create all this. Oh, there we go. So again, not sure, I haven't changed any settings on the sim whatsoever. When I did kick it off on Friday afternoon after I got everything loaded, I forget what I was in. Maybe the Buki Jungmann or something like that, a little biplane. Anyway, it was Toby Eye Tracker just absolutely refused to play ball. It was wobbling about like I was Groucho Marx. It was just quite incredible. Speaking of which, I have to revisit Night at the Opera soon. I freaking love the Marx Brothers, and I will take any one of you cats on up the back of the woodwork shed after school if you disagree. But yeah, Toby Eye Tracker really wasn't behaving. I was thinking, hang on, this isn't right. So obviously, after a couple of reboots, things have settled down some. And it's now the magic slice that it is. Should we do it? Should we? I know I'm potentially running the risk here of breaking it. What have I got in one? Did I create something? There we go. Let's see how this goes for a while. We're just playing now, folks. I'm just playing with the colours. This kind of works as well. Okay, so this is with both the Rex AccuSeason changes and the NVIDIA colour palette. Just to brighten things up some. Lovely day for it. Lovely. Okay, this has worked out far better than I expected. I was expecting a major nightmare run. So thanks for putting up in the early run. So, I mean, it's all live and learn, isn't it? I'm not here to flog anything, sell anything, spruik anything. I'm just here to enjoy the sim and hope to Christ you cats enjoy the sim as well. It is my guess that if you're watching any of my crap, then that is the case. As we come down over the lazy old river, must you keep rolling? Ah, Ray Davies, your classic. Oh yeah, this takes me back to the first time I ever went through London. Hopped off at Gatwick and stayed in a hostel over at Holland Park. November, and the snow was falling. And it was a tad cold, and I got to tell you, then as I suspect now, even with climate change, no coat you buy in Australia is going to prepare you for the cold of Britain. I sold mine within 2 days and bought an old World War II greatcoat from a army co-op store, one of those Sally Ann's Salvation Army stores. I do suspect, and I'm not one to harp on about frame rates, I do suspect in spite of those hiccups, the frame rate has had an increase. I'm not changing anything. Let's have a look. Hang on, I'm just going to have a squeeze. General options, control options. Let's have a look what my vids are. There we go. So, yeah, 1440, TAA, 100%. Lots of ultras, 16. Couple of mediums. The only thing turned off outright is motion blur and lens correction and lens flare. They all bug the hell out of me. Those cinematic qualities, not my bag, although I can see why they're attractive to a lot of people. So I'm just doing what I normally do, which is rabbit on about crap, just seeing how all this stuff works, which I constantly marvel at. So look, hard for me to have a verdict on the update. It was torturous, to say the least, and quite confusing because there was nobody posting in real time, and the Zendesk wasn't showing it in real time, I don't think, although I was having a look. around 10 o'clock on Friday morning. I did the upload. Have dropped actually, so obviously dropped. Holding that puppy. Alright, cool. So where we are in relation to it all, shall we? There we go. Due dead south. Guessing our beloved Croydon is going to be over here. Why do I want to keep... I've got my feet on the rudder pedals, and of course I'm moving the rudders. It's like, stop that, you don't have to. Nice how the cowling just has a little bit of wobbliness as well. So again, I think that actually came with the Ercoupe, and that's one of the design cells on this. I think one of the big things that I thought, okay, that's really skillful. I mean, that's love right there. That's dedication and love. So that's quite impressive. It's very sedate otherwise, very, as I said, swift on the maneuver because everything's linked in. Let's do that. Let's suss it out, shall we? Oh, I know I'm breaking the fourth wall for a moment. It doesn't matter. Just being a goober now, just being a dickhead. Therein lies the story of my days, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so now we've got a bit of a pause. Hopefully it's going to free up, yeah. Now, I might turn the rolling cage back on, poodle about with that now that this update's gone through. Again, traditionally I've kind of alternated having it and not having it, but I'm thinking actually, you know what, we'll go over the airfield and then we'll come back and just see what the approach is like. But yeah, I might put it back on, see if that's going to give me better results with those larger stoppages. I'm running a 3080 Ti, and honestly, we bang on about the 4 series cards now, but they're the phenomenon of this year. I know they've been out a couple of years, but the way they were inflated under COVID was off the charts. None of us had them, so we're making out as if everybody had a 4 series card for quite a while now. No, they really only started picking up sales from around March this year. So prior to that, we'd all be screaming, you know, to get a 3090, or my preference is a 3080 Ti, because you were getting as much bang for the buck off that as you were off. Way, dude, that's on you, not me. Mind you, it is impressive as hell. I think they've got collision monitoring on for traffic insight stuff, so woe betide any man, woman or child who flies their plane into that. So here we are over sunny Croydon, and we are just going to bring her in. You know what, we can do it, we can do it. Just lovely. Okay, so yeah, look, if I were to try and say anything, stand behind my lemonade counter and try and flog you anything, I would recommend that you pick up FS Realistic Pro and Rex AccuSeason, especially the newest version, in a heartbeat. They just bring an already alive simulator even more so to life, and that's really quite incredible. But please leave a comment. You know, I mean, leave a comment for anything, like, subscribe, all that rubbish. But most importantly, I'm keen to hear what you cats experience, what you've got after the SU13, and be kind, because don't forget, these folks do a phenomenal amount of work, and I think that's the big takeaway, is that made us think about how good we've really got it ordinarily. So again, I'm turning the bloody rudders, and I shouldn't have to. Classic. Let's have a look. Let us have a look. So yeah, please leave a comment, your experiences with it, and all the rest of it. It's I'm keen, genuinely keen to hear. Now theoretically, I should be able to give it some flaps. Do we have any flaps? Shit, I didn't even check. Probably not. Oh, that's right, this is supposed to be the unstallable aircraft, isn't it? I love it. Oh, just lovely. Butter, people, butter. Gently back on the stick. Butter here in 1935 Croydon. So yeah, I've got to tell you, I think I've just gone and fallen me in love with this little puppy. I will not be taking her up in gusty weather, okay, and that's a given. But I certainly will be flying this sucker a lot more, because it's really quite gorgeous and sedate and kind of unique, and that's all I can ask. Really, really lovely. Now I don't know if didn't even turn the fuel pump off. How bad a bloody pilot am I? I'm rubbish. Totally rubbish. Do we? That's a trim, isn't it? How do we? Can we? Can we even? Probably not. Oh, and I do know that we've got look down here, just off my eye line, because it's got the bloody Toby eye tracker. Let's have a look at this. He says rubbing his eyeballs. Come on, kid. There we go. So what's we got? We has got gear fairings. Let's have a squeeze. Ooh, they're rather sporty. Static elements. There we go. We're locked down for the day. Yep, we've got our tie downs. We're good. We're good. Any pedo cover? Doesn't matter. All good. Window cover. That's great if you do an IFR. Cockpit vibrations, engine start only. No, I really like that. Okay, so there you go. I can recommend this puppy wholeheartedly, and also the traffic in sight. Really, that's really cool. All right, big beautiful world, shut me up. I hope you have had a fantastic weekend. I hope you're still having a fantastic weekend. Thank you for signing on. I hope I wasn't too dull. Stay safe, stay sane. Love ya. Bye.